Alright, ladies and gentlemen, hello. My name is Darius Anucauskas and I'm the Chief Market Analyst here at Markets.com. And today is Friday, ladies and gentlemen. I did a morning video today and I talked a lot about the markets and everything. And one little sector that I wanted to expand a little bit more is the crypto world. Basically, look, we're going to jump into that. We're seeing some activity, some positive activity. Look, before we go any further, I need to quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, yes, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation and should not be considered as such. This material should not be taken as an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. Look, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest. I'm not going to disappear anywhere. Yeah, of course, like I said, the crypto world is interesting. It's currently overshadowed by other bigger events, in my opinion, and next week again as well, it will be overshadowed because of the all the central bank interest rate decisions. So, but still, nevertheless, I mean, it's quite interesting to see what's happening in there, and there are a few things happening. So, look, also before we go any further, just a quick mentioning of our Markets.com website, which you can always check out for more information about us. If you have any questions, reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to assist. Also, I wanted to quickly notify you about the webinar, which is going to happen on the 23rd of September, this is going to be a closed event, so please do register. Basically, I'm going to be talking about the RSI. I already did a webinar on the MACD, and this time is going to be on the RSI because the whole point is that you all know these indicators, right? The only thing is that sometimes we're struggling to maybe apply those in real life. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through those, like I said, this one will be about the RSI. We'll look into a few scenarios and we're going to jump into live action, live market action, trying to use the RSI in real life, real live market action. Yes, we're going to do that on a demo account for sure. And we'll see if it works or not. You know, if it's worth using. I know that some of you probably are using it, but hey, let's have a look. Anyway, you'll find the link in the description of this video. Look, ladies and gentlemen, Bitcoin, very quickly on Bitcoin. So lately, you know, we have been seeing this little rally after we found good support near the 107,250 zone ish, approximately around there, and we started pushing back up. We climbed back above all my EMAs on my daily chart. Now, what I'm looking at next, and this is what I said in my Markets Talk webinar, that I'm targeting this 117,300, or let's round it up here, maybe a little bit, 117,400. I'm targeting that, and then after that, if we do clear it, I'll go and aim for that all-time high again. Look, for now I'm being very cautious because this market, like I said, it doesn't have the hype which we saw recently and in the beginning of this year as well, but still it is moving. We saw some news coming out that Coinbase is seeking judicial action to expose gaps in the SEC transparency. So basically, they're trying to send SEC to court for deleting what's his name, Gary Gensler. Let me just double check what's his name, Gensler for sure. When he was basically the head of the SEC, Gary Gensler, yes, there we go. He was before, he was the head of the SEC, but then in the beginning of this year, he moved away, and there was a new guy in town, and yes, a new person in town, and basically, SEC now is kind of taking that backseat kind of position in a way, and it seems like the crypto companies now have the upper hand because of, again, a lot of thanks to the current US administration. So that's why we're not really seeing major declines in the cryptos, because again, every time we're seeing something in the news that's coming out, and it's kind of supporting the crypto world. So long story short, for now, looking at this from the technical perspective, Bitcoin is pushing nicely to the upside, or at least trying to. Look, I'll say it this way, and this is what I said in my previous webinars, that as long as we stay above the all the EMAs on my daily chart, the 50, the 100, and the 200, I will continue targeting the upside. Now, I'm not really going for the all-time highs yet. I'm going slowly, and I'm just gonna kind of have that approach, because there again, there is still there are some headwinds, on the way higher, but again, it still is attractive. Now, jumping into Bitcoin Cash, this one looks still somewhat positive. It looks like a nice bullish flag here. We have our pole, we have our little flag, so maybe this could actually reverse sharply back up. So yeah, let's keep an eye on this, and in a way, this psychological 600 mark is the one that's kind of stopping, I think, the crypto from going further. However, the 632 mark is also a very strong area of resistance, as you can see here. That's the highest point of December where we were. So we're kind of knocking on the door of that area, and if we can clear it, yes, we could go further north. Ethereum is clearing that 4,500 level. I talked about this in my Markets Talk webinar, and we are kind of trying to stay afloat above that 450. Now look, the recent price action kind of was contained in this little range here. The prevailing trend was to the downside. We started ranging, and there we go. We are looking at this from the bullish perspective a little bit, at least for now. As long as we stay above the 4,500 zone, then yeah, we will continue targeting the upside. Look, in general, I would say normally this would be a bearish indication, because again, the prevailing trend before entering this range was to the downside. So in a way, greater chance for this one to break out to is lower side. So, but we're currently doing this. Again, I'm not excluding a false breakout, of course, don't get me wrong, but let's keep this one. Let's not rush, and let's see how the weekend will go through as well, because as we know, this one's still all these cryptos are open during the weekend. Look, for now, that's the case, and let's see what's going to happen. Jumping into Ripple. Ripple has broken the downside line. We remain above that psychological 3 level, which everybody's watching. So as long as we stay above this downside line and above the 3 level, I'm continuing targeting the upside. Litecoin, I do like Litecoin, but it's something tells me like you need to be a little bit more on the careful side with this one. So for now, I would say it's just for now, it's also somewhat on the positive side. But you know what? With this one, I am going to take a little bit of a backseat approach and just kind of observe it. When I'm with other ones, I'm a little bit more confident. With this one, I do like it, don't get me wrong, but for now, it's just kind of look, because it's maybe because I'm looking at this little formation here, like maybe it's like a rising channel here, so something like that. So maybe this is gonna be the case, and if that's the case, then there's a chance of this one breaking out lower. So I don't want to, like I said, don't want to overdo it. Dogecoin, now this one's an animal, and this one continues to push higher. Look at this. I mean, we broke the downside line, we pushed higher, we're above the 0.2575 hurdle, the one that I have here, and yeah, my next target is the 0.2874. That's the highest point of July. So in a way, yeah, I mean, look, there is still room for the upside. I mean, we're not at 2025 highs. The highs for the year 2025 are right here. Let me just put this one here. I mean, if you remember, this is when we rallied. This is when the whole Department of Government Efficiency was kind of in play, and this is where everybody was like thinking, oh right, okay, that's the whole point, Dogecoin, Doge, blah blah blah, and yeah. So yeah, but then everything backfired in a way, and I think right now it just killed it. I think it really went quiet. I don't know if it still exists, but when after Elon left, I think that maybe they dissolved it or something. I don't know, but it's not really in the news anymore. Look, Polkadot. Now Polkadot is an interesting one here as well, and we are finding good resistance near the 200-day EMA. So, long story short, for now, while this continues to provide good resistance, I will consider maybe a little bit of a retracement back down, maybe towards the 100-day EMA. But if we somehow manage to clear the 200-day EMA here, shown as the white line, well, my next target is the 4.6364 zone, somewhere around here, marked by the highest point of July. And finally, one of my favorite ones, Tron. So Tron is looking quite good here towards the upside. Now, previously I said that if we do clear the 50-day EMA and we stay above it, I'm going to go higher. So I'm going to stick to my words, and I'm going to continue aiming to the upside. If we suddenly start falling back below the 50-day EMA, then I will consider a little bit of a move to the downside, and maybe even a larger correction back down. So, ladies and gentlemen, also I wanted to pick up on a few stocks here which are involved in the crypto world. So basically, Riot Platforms is one of those. And as you can see, we have rallied quite significantly. And look, if we believe that there is a little bit of room for profit taking, then maybe the cryptos could be seen, moving back down a little bit. Now, this, like I said, the stock had rallied significantly, and I'm not saying that it needs to correct now lower, no, but normally this one does correct when the cryptos correct. So if we can see the first indications maybe on this stock, maybe this could give us a little heads up for when analyzing the main cryptos. Basically, also the top creme de la creme stock of all the cryptos is Coinbase. Now look, with Coinbase, after we had a fantastic move here to the upside, we rallied, we hit the all-time high near the 445 zone. Now we're seeing a little bit of not a little bit of but a good correction back down. This looks to me a little bit more bearish than bullish. So let me just clear up the chart here a little bit, and certainly if we can look at, I would say this, I would look at it from this perspective, but actually, it's pointless to look at it from this perspective. It doesn't actually carry anything. But what is interesting, in my opinion, is let me just is the this little position, this little idea. Look, we're kind of stuck in this little area, roughly between the 293 and 334 levels. So we could even say that we're in a little range here. So if we look at the prevailing trend is to the downside. So the greater chance for this one, according to all the TA rules, is to break out lower. We're currently near the upper side. Look, I'm not saying that this is for sure going to drop lower. Nothing is for sure. But let's see if we can get a hold up somewhere near this 334 zone. And if it does get a hold up, let's see if we can actually drift back down. So, and now we're done. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching and listening. I hope you found this useful. I tried to do a little quick crypto update. I hope you found it, like I said, I hope you found it useful. And look, follow us, subscribe to us. I mean, for more info like this, I do throw out these occasional videos. Actually, not occasional, regular videos. And I think, like I said, and I try to prepare everybody for the week or the next week, and talk about certain economic events. But hey, I hope you liked it. Ladies and gentlemen, I shall see you next time in my next little video update. As always, stay safe, have your stop losses in place, risk only what you can afford to lose, don't overtrade, and everything will be fine. And I'll see you later. Bye.